But currently temperatures are in the 40s here in Chattanooga, 35 in Nashville, so a little bit on the chilly side. Plus, when you factor in the wind, it feels even cooler. We have northeasterly breeze at about 13 to 15 miles per hour, a little bit cooler off into Murphy and Blue Ridge in the 30s. Altamont at 34, low to mid 40s here in the valley. And here's a look at your radar. Again, this low pressure tracks inland as we move into the afternoon, bringing some showers across much of Alabama and Georgia. And after about 4 p.m., some of that rain starts to rotate here into the Tennessee Valley, becoming more widespread as we continue into the evening. So it is going to be a soaker of a Saturday night into Sunday. There also could be some snowflakes mixing in. Now here in the valley, that's about all that we're going to have. A few wet snowflakes here and there, especially if we can pull down some of that colder air. Again, there's going to be pockets for them where you may have temperatures around 34, 33, and that's when we could start seeing some of that snow mix in. But I think for the most part, we're just going to see rain here in the valley. But after midnight, some of that transition starts to occur in the highest elevations along the Tennessee, North Carolina line. Again, the Blue Ridge Mountains could get a pretty good thumping, especially for the highest elevations. And then this upper level low system is going to kind of track in across central Georgia. And that's when we could have some of that transition occur, because this will be able to pull down some of that colder air and we could see some snowflakes mixing in. And then by the time Sunday morning arrives, still some pretty heavy rain here in the valley. Again, maybe mixing with flakes. I think that transition may try to occur tomorrow morning along the plateau as well. At least the latest model guidance is kind of indicating that's going to be possible. Again, you can see that strike of pink right there. Van Buren, Bledsoe, Sequatchie, Grundy County certainly will be possible. And then back into the North Georgia mountains and western North Carolina. But notice how we're still mainly rain here in the valley. And then that transition continues into western North Carolina as the rain kind of wraps up going into your Sunday. So again, it doesn't look like we're going to have a ton of snow locally, but some of the Blue Ridge Mountains could get quite a bit. We are going to get a good soaking of rain, over an inch to even an inch and a half here across the entire Tennessee Valley. But as far as that snow potential goes, again, like I mentioned, some flakes will mix in here in the valley. Not expecting any impact simply because temperatures are going to be on the mild side. Now the plateau could pick up a slushy inch, maybe even 2 in spots if some of that cold air is able to come down to the surface. Really don't think we'll have roadway issues because the roads are still going to be relatively warm. So this will mainly be elevated accumulations and then on the grassy surfaces. But the best chance of measurable snow, of course, going to come along that Tennessee, North Carolina line where we have a winter storm warning in effect from Boone to Asheville to Waynesville and into eastern Monroe County. Again, if you're in an elevation above 3,000 feet, 2 to 6 inches certainly will be possible. And again, this is going to be a wet, sloppy snow. If you're traveling in these areas, you're going to want to watch out for slippery roadways. Again, you can see that strip of about 2 to 6 inches, and some of the higher peaks like Mount LeConte could squeeze out more than that. Across North Georgia, dusting to maybe an inch in some of those higher elevations. And then same along the Cumberland Plateau. This has actually trended up since earlier this morning. So a dusting to an inch. Localized areas of 2 inches possible. Again, if that transition happens in time before all the moisture moves out. So that's something we're going to track pretty closely, but only limited impacts expected here into northern Sequatchie, Bledsoe, and Grundy, while you're going to have higher impacts out into western North Carolina and Tennessee. So if you are going to be traveling to the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Smokies, just be mindful that it could be kind of a mess as we wake up tomorrow morning. But for us, of course, evening rain, 53 tonight. Periods of rain. Again, that snow could mix in at times, and then going into the next 7 days, it is really going to warm up next week, back to near 70 by Thursday with a chance for some storms.
Hey, we'll take it, Clay. That warm weather looks real nice, and we'll just have our umbrellas ready. But definitely a lot to be aware of tonight going into tomorrow. Again, especially to those of you in the higher elevations, we will be tracking these conditions and bringing you the latest updates both on air and inside our app. So definitely stay with us.